Good morning and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more, the exclusive banking partner of the Digital Weather Desk. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. And again, thanks for taking time out of your day to look at the forecast. Do I have an eyelash or something going on here? What's going on? Whoa, it's weird. Anyway. Probably the last fairly quiet day. Could run into a few thunderstorms and scattered showers tomorrow. And again, the rain chances and the rain totals kind of start stacking up going into next week, or at least that's what the latest forecast data says. In full disclosure, there's not a lot of reasons to put a lot of stock in the forecast data because it's been pretty bad as of the last couple of weeks. But sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. So we'll just kind of roll with the I don't even know if that saying actually works here, but it sounded right, so we're going to go with that. Anyway, temperatures across the area this morning, upper 60s to near 70, some mid-60s sprinkled in here or there. Visibility is not a dire, horrible concern at this point for most locations in our area. There are some 2 and 3 and 4 mile visibilities, but in terms of visibility dropping down to less than a mile, at least from what we're measuring and what we can see in terms of observations, most spots are faring okay. Grant Parish may be the exception. As you move toward Alexandria, visibility is quite limited in those areas. Obviously, if I am incorrect in your specific area, you can let me know kind of if you're seeing fog in your area as well. Dew points quite soupy, mid to upper 60s. Good morning to you, Janet. I know everyone looking forward to the rain, needing the rain, and it will return. I just don't think it will return in earnest as early as folks would hope. We will see some rain chances tomorrow and Friday, but there's going to be a lot of areas that stay dry. Again, dew points quite soupy out there this morning. Checking the satellite radar composite, there's a weak front kind of teetering to the north, but with that big ridge of high pressure in the upper levels and southerly winds at the surface kind of fighting against any kind of front trying to drag its way into the region, it really won't be successful as we go through the day. In fact, Futurecast, which is made possible by Bayou Power Sports I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe, shows that stationary boundary actually retreats northward as we go through the daytime hours today and into Thursday. In fact, it kind of just stays stalled today and really doesn't start retreating northward until late in the day tomorrow. As we go through the day today, we stay dry. Could run into a fleeting chance of a shower or storm in our western counties and parishes to start the morning off tomorrow, but I still don't expect to see much rain to start the day. Afternoon conditions would set us up for a decent chance of showers and storms. It's warm, it's humid. The only problem is the prefrontal trough, the front, all the stuff that would provide some lift in the atmosphere to kind of get storms and showers going, all that stuff is still well off to the west through the day tomorrow. So you're really just relying on some very limited lift and a lot of warm, humid, and breezy conditions to help drive the rainfall. And I just don't know if that's going to be enough to really generate much in terms of scattered showers and storms through the day. As we go into Friday, probably some decaying showers and storms to some degree to start the morning, most of it fairly scattered, and then the front advances through the area during the day, and with that front, I do expect to see some scattered showers and storms. Futurecast says no, but it just really depends on the model data that you want to roll with, and again, that's why you look at model data and you absorb the information, and then you build your own forecast based off of it. You never base a forecast solely off of computer model data, because that's dumb. And computers, they're great, but they are still prone to be very wrong in some instances. For example, the European model, which has been kind of the more reliable global model as of late, has scattered showers and storms across the area for Friday, starting tomorrow and going through the daytime hours on Friday. So the rain chances aren't zero. We've actually got them up to about 30-40% range in some locations. Boundary passes through, stalls to the south, and then we reset for the next storm system, which should arrive Monday, Tuesday of next week, but the timing of that one's still not great. Janine and Betty, thank you so much for joining in as well. Check of Futurecast in terms of the mid-level winds, and we've talked about the big hump in the jet stream, big ridge of high pressure in place, and those subtropical southwesterly winds off to our west. As we go through the rest of this week, you can see that lead disturbance that starts pulling in some better subtropical moisture across the Arklatex region, all of those greens and everything, but most of the deeper layered moisture kind of misses us to the west. A lot of the showers and storms get scoured out over the Red River Valley, the Ozarks, areas in our immediate area, but not in our area, which is kind of a bummer. As we go through the early parts of next week, a larger upper-level storm system, kind of a what we call a long-wave trough or an big, strong upper-level storm system that brings more wholesale changes, starts to sweep through the region. And I expect to see the impacts from this storm system, specifically Monday, Tuesday. Could see some rain chances as early as Sunday, just depending on how this storm system kind of times out. But this one could be one that is a little bit more impactful, more widespread impacts across the region. Still no guarantees on that, because it's model data, and we're still almost a week away, and a lot can change between now and then. But this looks to be kind of a more wholesale change. That said, the storm system we're dealing with Thursday and Friday last week looked like the big change in the forecast, and it's not. Things change, so keep that in mind. This storm system should sweep on through. Behind it, colder air probably punching in somewhere around Thanksgiving or a little beyond. Could include some more rain chances then as well. Again, that's something we really just don't know. But the travel days in and around Thanksgiving could be impacted depending on where you're heading and really just depending on the forecast. So I can't guarantee just smooth sailing travel-wise for the Thanksgiving holiday, again, especially depending on where you're going. But it's something that we will, again, address more as the week progresses. Patty, Becky, and May, good morning to you folks as well. Thanks so much for taking time out of your morning. So let's look at rain totals. This is rain totals over about the next 3 days through Saturday. Quarter-inch, half-inch totals. Obviously, if you get some thunderstorm-driven rains, you're going to see some higher rain totals. But this gives us some general numbers to kind of think about. Not everyone's going to see a quarter or a half-inch rain. I think there's going to be a lot of spots through Thursday and Friday they don't see rain at all. But it kind of gives us a general idea of what kind of totals you could be dealing with over the next couple of days. So that's 3 days, 5 days. So you add a little bit of rain on at some point Sunday, Monday, in some locations, and the overall rain totals for the entire 5-day period start kind of nudging up into the 3/4 to 1 inch range. These are rain totals over the next 7 days. So that Monday, Tuesday storm system does look to be pretty impactful. It does look to bring rain. Does it look to bring 2 or 3 inches of rain through our area? It's a possibility. But obviously, these totals are taken over an entire 7-day period. So this includes the rain from Thursday, Friday, any rain that we see over the weekend, and then obviously the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday stuff. So obviously, I don't want to show you this without showing you the actual forecast. This is model data. It helps us form the forecast, but it is not the forecast. So that was, again, 3, 5, 7 days. This is the official forecast for 3 days. Couple of tenths of an inch of rain, some areas a quarter of an inch of rain. Obviously, some thunderstorm-driven rains will be higher than that. Here's 5 days. You start seeing half-inch, 3/4 inch, maybe 1 inch rain totals in some spots. But obviously, adding on to those totals, rainfall forecast over the next 7 days. Inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, maybe even 4 inch rain totals. I do think this is probably a little overcooked. But from what the forecast we have right now is, it does set us up for some hefty rain totals next week. Keep in mind, I showed you the forecast rainfall over 7 days last week, and it was saying very similar numbers, and that's not going to happen for the latter part of this week. So, again, these forecasts are designed to change. That's what they're meant to do. Some get a little over-aggressive, and we have to peel them back. Some start too conservative, and we have to ramp them up. It's just, that's weather. And it's how it's always been. I think folks get wrapped up in the semantics and the specifics of things, but that's just how weather forecasting works. Highs today, low to mid 80s. Record highs, perhaps. We haven't seen many record highs in our area. We flirted with them. We haven't quite gotten there, especially yesterday. I thought we had a chance yesterday, but then the clouds really just kind of socked us in through the course of the day. Most of us stopped closer to 80. So low to mid 80s for highs. Winds will be out of the south. Lows tonight, low to mid 60s. Clouds increase, maybe some patchy fog, but I think the winds may be too much of a factor overnight that some areas may not deal with the fog issues. Best rain chances will be in the western counties and parishes as we go through the early morning hours, the sunrise time frame tomorrow morning. 7-day forecast. If you joined us yesterday evening, I bumped the rain chances up to 50% on Monday. I've kind of just left them where they are. I had a bunch of different rain chances that I was going to throw in for the early parts of next week, but I'm just going to wait for what we call the 12Z data, which is kind of this morning's data that comes in usually at around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and I figured I would just make all the wholesale changes to the forecast then. I did not show you any severe weather outlooks simply because there aren't any. There is no day 2 outlook in terms of marginal, slight, enhanced, all that stuff. There is no day 3 outlook. That could change, but right now I don't really see a cause for it. I mentioned yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an outlook for Friday. We do not have one yet, and at this point, I don't think one is imminent. Again, that's Friday. Still a lot of time to play with the forecast. No reason to really jump off the deep end with a lot of specifics. Again, thanks so much for everyone that's taken time out of the morning to say hello. Joy, Debbie, Kelly. Thanks so much for taking out. If you come in here every morning and you get your thumbs working at 8 o'clock in the morning to say hello, it is greatly appreciated. It lets us know that you appreciate what we're doing here, and that our efforts are not in vain, and that the local businesses that help make this happen, that it's not in vain as well. Bonnie does ask, what will temperatures be about on Thanksgiving? That is a good question that I just can't answer for you. I do think we're going to trend cooler than where we are right now. I don't think we're going to be in the 80s. There's a chance we could be in the 70s. There's a chance we could be much colder than that. There will be a punch of colder air that arrives at some point Thanksgiving week, probably late week, probably right around Thanksgiving, and it should be some pretty cold air. It's not going to be anything record-setting or anything. Depending on who you follow on social media, they'll make you think that it is. But there's going to be a shot of cold air at some time then. Obviously, 7-day forecast will put us looking at Thanksgiving late this week, but we'll obviously continue to keep an eye on it. I wish I could give you a number, but I just don't feel comfortable. I don't want to say 70s for Thanksgiving and then we're in the 50s, which is a possibility. Bonnie, thank you so much for joining in. 2 Bonnies. Bonnie squared. If you remember math, you get what I'm talking about. Your Too Long Didn't Read comes out about 9:30, about an hour and a half or so. Fishing game later tonight. 2 different live streams, midday and evening, as we continue to kind of figure out the forecast for the rest of the week. Obviously, there will be some changes upcoming in your app here in just a little bit as I formulate the forecast for the rest of the day. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Hello to Leanne. Janie, thanks so much for taking time out of your day as well. I'll catch up with you in a couple of hours. And as always, if you're taking time out of your day to watch the videos or absorb the content anyway, I appreciate you for doing so. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, everybody.